Hey guys, John Guitar 87 here with my spoiler review of Rise of Skywalker. I did do a non-spoiler review, link is in the description. If you want a little taste of it, here it is right now. It sucks. Alright, so that was the entire review. When you go down the description, the whole video is about 14 seconds long. Basically, I didn't want to talk about the movie without being able to talk about spoilers in it. I obviously didn't like it. And I can go into all the different spoiler reasons for it, but I don't think that's beneficial. There's a deeper reason for why I didn't like it, other than the fact that the film itself just isn't very good. You know what? I'm going to start with the good stuff that I did like about it. There were some scenes in here that I loved. There's the scene with Han Solo and Kylo Ren doing the rework of the original scene in Force Awakens, which was great. I loved it, teared up. I actually really enjoyed the C-3PO scene of him remembering his friends. At least for me, I feel like he wasn't just looking at them. I feel like almost he was, I don't know, it kind of felt like he was just going through his memory bank of everybody. So it's not, because he kind of looked like he was looking through them. I don't know. That just how I took it. I took it more of like he was kind of going through his memory banks of everything. You know, so he was thinking of Luke, Leia, Chewie, all of them. Great scene. The Kylo Ren and Rey fight on the old Death Star, or whatever it was, the Star Destroyer, or whatever that thing was. Awesome scene. You know, there were a couple really good scenes. The scene where Luke and Leia are training, really great. I wish I could have seen more of that. But that's kind of about it. I mean, there's a couple little things here and there. There's a great scene with Chewie when he finds out Leia dies. That was great. Leia dying, you know, was a very good scene. You know, those things were all right. There's a lot more problems with the movie, though. Specifically, the pacing feels like the movie's on fast forward and slow motion at the exact same time. It's really weird. It feels really quick, but it also feels really long, at least for me. The story itself wasn't great. The thing is, even past some of the decisions that they made, you know, if they wanted to go with the Rey Kylo romance, fine, but there's really nothing in the other movies that really allude to that. You really get more of a brother sister. I really thought that they were going to go with the twin story of her being another Skywalker. Palpatine twist, I think, was really dumb. A lot of this movie was just bad, and the reason why I dislike this movie so much, and I'm going to be honest, I am a huge Star Wars fan. I love the original three. I love a lot of the external content. Big fan of the extended universe that they got rid of. And you know, I liked Force Awakens and I liked The Last Jedi. Sorry, I'm just trying to gather all of my thoughts here because I don't really use notes and whatnot. But anyway, the biggest problem I have with this movie is there's so much potential and they missed the mark so much. You could tell JJ is a Star Wars fan. You could tell that, you know, there's a love for the extended universe. I mean, they're lifting stories out of the Dark Horse comics. They're lifting stories of the dyad from about the twins, Han and Leia's twins, and all this stuff. And they're changing it, and that's fine. You want to adapt it. You want to tell that same story but different. Fine. There's a way to do that. And they really missed the mark on all this. They focus so much on fan service, but not the right kinds. And they were so focused on nostalgia. And there's a really cool story in here that could have been had. I think, as great as Rey is, I think letting her die would have been the right choice. Like, let's see her die and Kylo have to live with that for the rest of his life and have to redeem himself for all of these things that he's done. Like that would have been a great twist on the story, because you think, doing, because they're doing, Last Jedi or Return of the Jedi mixed with, the Dark Horse stuff with the Emperor cloning himself and all that stuff, and that's great. But like, let's do something different. Let Vader live and have to atone. Like, let Kylo Ren live and atone for his sins. Anyway, that's not the point. This movie should be the largest grossing movie of all time. This should have been the most glorious end to a saga and a series that we've ever seen. I mean, at this point, this ending was 40 years in the making. And it should have done better than Endgame. It should be the biggest, highest grossing movie ever. And it's not. It's not even close. I think they barely made $300 million so far. And we're 2 weeks in. They're not. I mean, they'll barely make $1 billion. I don't think they're going to make more than $1 billion worldwide. It's really a shame. And part of that is, in my feeling, they tried to Marvelify the Star Wars universe. And the problem is that Star Wars isn't an action superhero franchise. At its core, it's science fiction mixed with fantasy. And those types of movies are not Marvel movies. And I get we're not going to get the same immersive, slow movies that we got in the first trilogy, but I think we're not getting that only because they don't want us to get that. Because when you look at The Mandalorian, that's what The Mandalorian's doing. They're doing a very slow-paced show where it immerses you in everything. And this didn't really do that. Like, I can understand for Force Awakens. You want the nostalgia fest. You want to bring everyone back, get everyone excited, and then move forward. The problem, and I think Rian Johnson tried to do that, but I think he pissed off some fans with his decisions, and I don't agree with everything that he did, but we went back to trying to be like what Force Awakens was, and like for the end of this whole series and saga, that's not what we wanted. Like, we want this epic tale to end and come to an end with the Skywalkers, and that's great, and they just didn't do that. I went into this movie with no leaking, no leaks, no spoilers, none of that stuff. And I was truly excited when that crawl came up. Had a big smile on my face. And then about 3 minutes in, the smile just kind of faded. And for the rest of the movie, I was just kind of like, huh? What? Getting mad. Just upset. The guy next to me, like, I would just make comments, and the guy was just laughing because he agreed with everything while I was sitting there. And that's upsetting. I really, like, for a franchise that's been in my life, I don't remember a time before Star Wars. I remember, like, my very first memories of Star Wars is watching it on Christmas Day when I was probably like 4 or 5 years old. Because it just happened to be on at my cousin's house while everyone else was playing poker and doing their whatever we did on Christmas Day. And I remember that being on in the living room and watching A New Hope and watching it because there was some sort of happened to be a marathon on. And like, those are some of my earliest memories. It's of this franchise, and it's upsetting to me. It's really disappointing that this is how it ends. And part of that's the fans. Part of that's the fans too. I feel like the fans over the since the prequels have become so angered and so, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Entitled? Yeah, that's the word. Entitled. that I think we killed it. Like, I would have loved for George Lucas to be able to finish off his trilogy the way finish off his 9 movies the way he wanted to. I really feel like, realistically, when he sold it to Disney, he should have been like, listen, these 3 movies are mine. These last 3 movies I get to finish. I don't care if anyone would have liked them or not. But I really feel like he should have been able to finish off the movies the way he wanted to. I feel like we as fans have bitched at and pissed off George Lucas to the point where he just didn't care anymore. I think that's why he sold the franchise. I think it's because of us. I don't think it is. I know it's because of us. He gets so fed up with us. He was just trying to make good movies, and I feel like we rag on him way too much. But besides that, like, I just don't really have any more words for it. It's really upsetting, and I'm kind of, as much as I love Star Wars, I'm kind of tired of how ridiculous everything around Star Wars has gotten. And I think it's a shame because this franchise has been around for 40 years and it's touched so many people's lives, and I get why everyone's so passionate about it, including myself. But I think that's drove a lot of things in bad directions, and that's what we're seeing right now. And I hope that it can change, and I'm still gonna be a fan of Star Wars. I'm still gonna watch the movies and stuff, but it's just really disappointing that this is what we got out of the movie. I mean, yeah. That's my thoughts. I'm sure I could have gone into more. I could be very angry about a lot of it. I've been angry about it, talked to people very angrily about it. But you know what? At this point, let's try to move past it, and maybe when they reboot him, and honestly, I'm fine if they reboot this whole series. Start over with Luke. I'm looking forward to Obi-Wan. I wouldn't mind. Fuck it. Put Luke Skywalker into Mandalorian. Recast him. Find someone who looks like Mark Hamill and put him in. But I'm just getting off track here. I'm just disappointed in the movie. And I hope they do better in the future. I really do. I love this franchise. I'll always love this franchise. And, it's going to be what it is. Alright, well, I'm going to get out of here. Got some more videos to make, and I'm going to do some streaming, playing some Witcher 3. Also do a review of the Witcher series, which I watched, which was fantastic. If you want to see more, like, subscribe, share, please. I'm, dedicated this year to putting out content on hopefully a daily basis, or a daily basis, or close to as daily basis as possible. Check out the podcast. We're taking a little bit of a break, but we're going to be back in a couple weeks with some more content on there. And yeah, hit me up on the socials. Tell me what you thought about Star Wars, and let me know. See you later.